Hello everybody, MegaZodeX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video. And for today, yes, we're only just like a few days away from Christmas Day. And I know like the full holiday season thing is in full blown effect. I know that many of y'all might be going through doing last minute scrambling for shopping, whatnot though, enjoying those holiday traditions. At least me, I'm just going through and just, drinking that hot cocoa, trying to wrap some last minute gifts, enjoying the full holiday season though. But, in the spirit of the season though, I decided to take the time out to go through a wish list of things I want to personally see in the year of 2023, whether it be gaming related stuff, with a few exceptions here with some movies and whatnot though, that I want to personally see in the year of 2023. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell. That way you can stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing here on my main channel though. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into this video. All right, so on my list today, I got many different games I want to see released or just some general expectations of what I want to see from the game in the year of 2023. And at the very top of my list, and this is in no kind of particular order or anything like that, I want a brand new Donkey Kong Country game. Now, for this, I'm like, come on. I'm just like, it's about time since we had our last Donkey Kong Country game. Literally, the last one we had, I think, was back in 2014 with the Wii U with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which honestly I think is like by far one of my most favorite platforming games of all time. It's up there with the Ori games, both the Blind Forest as well as Will of the Wisp. I think all of those games are top-notch platforming games, and it really just kind of puts in perspective, like when you looked at like the past 2D Marios, like the most recent ones, like the Wii and the Wii U one. It's like, dang, Mario really needs to move into a new direction though. But this ain't about Mario, this is about Donkey Kong though. Because yes, it has been far long enough. Yes, we did manage to get that Tropical Freeze ported over to the Switch in the early life cycle of the Switch. I think it was like back in like 2018 or something like that, very soon after though. But I think it's about time. And I know there's been like some rumors about, hey, there could be like a new Donkey Kong 2.5D or something like that. I'm just like, please, it's about time. I felt like we got almost every single kind of iteration of most games or most Nintendo IPs except for Star Fox for some odd reason, which isn't on my list necessarily though. But I feel like we got most major Nintendo IPs fully represented here on the Switch. I just think Donkey Kong, it's about time we get a new one though. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be more so on the line of like a 2D as comparison to a 3D one, but nonetheless, I would love to see it. Next up on my list is Metroid Prime 4. Yes, I know some of y'all are kind of thinking, man, are we really going to get Metroid Prime 4? I mean, there's a chance. And even if we don't necessarily get the game to release this year, which that game's so big, I would expect it to be announced around Nintendo of E3 though. But even if we don't get the game to release this year, maybe we get some kind of announcements, a trailer, or even an update. Last time we had an update, I think was like what? The game was announced in 2017. I think it came out with a special update literally 2 years later. I think it was like early 2019 in the January video. Might have been 2020. I think it was 2019 though. But yeah, we got an update then, and since then, it's been ice cold. This might be one of those games where it might be like a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where we might get an iteration here on this Switch, and it could be also on the future successor though, but I'm holding hope. I mean, shoot, if we get Pikmin 4, which isn't even on my list, but since we got Pikmin 4 ideally coming out in the year 2023, shoot, it's about time. It's about stinking time we get some kind of update on Metroid. Coming off of the heels, Metroid Dread was a phenomenal game. Come on, just give me something, Nintendo. Just work with me here. Just work with me. Next up on my list, I got the Mario movie. Yes, now this is one of the few exceptions to my gaming kind of predictions though, but with the Mario movie though, I just want it to be good. I just want to be good. The movie comes out in April at some point. And literally from the first two trailers I saw, I can easily tell that Jack Black is going to be the star of the show. But I just really hope that everybody else can live up to the expectations, because if you ever went back and watched that first Mario movie, oh my gosh, man, that's an atrocious right there though. But everything I've been seeing, minus Chris Pratt, which I think that's the only thing that's kind of holding this movie back. But I think everybody else is living up to their potential. So I'm just hoping that for better or for worse, this is really good. Because coming off of those two Sonic movies, I was like, man, those were some really good, especially that second movie. Those were some really good movies. I mean, I think Mario movie has some shoes to fill, but everything I've been seeing from Illumination so far, I think it's been pretty good. So here's hoping it's good. It's not bad, but regardless, it's still gonna be a fun watch. Next up on my list, I have a new 2D or a new 3D Mario game. I kind of alluded a little bit to it when I was talking about Donkey Kong Country game though, but if it's a new 2D Mario, I don't want anything resembling how it used to be in the past with like New Super Mario Bros. U or U Deluxe by extension now. Because I feel like for the most part, 2D Mario has been kind of going stale. You look at the original Mario Brothers on the NES, great. You look at Super Mario Brothers 3, phenomenal. Super Mario World, I still can't even get some of those jingles out of my head to this day. And then if you just look at the new Super Mario Brothers, where it's like DS or Wii, that was okay. But I'm thinking since we gone from the DS Wii to like the Wii U, or I guess Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers 2 on the 3DS, it's we've been kind of getting the same old for the most part though. I just want them to kind of change up the formula or whatnot though. You see how expressive Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was in terms of like the running animations, the fluidness, the characters and whatnot though, the things that are going on in the background. You just gotta do something a little bit more, add a little bit more visual flair, a little bit more pop up in that one though. You gotta work with us, Nintendo. We're tired of seeing the same old, same old. I'm like, we just gotta get something new. That's if we get a 2D one. If we get a 3D one, I just want something. It could be something on the lines of Super Mario Odyssey 2, where it's like you literally do everything that you did in the first game, and then you just add and expand upon it. Kind of similar to how we went from Mario Galaxy to Mario Galaxy 2. I don't know why it's taking that long to make another 3D Mario though. Though by extension, we did get Bowser's Fury, which was attached to Super Mario 3D World. So I guess we kind of gotten something in the stopgap year though, but I think it's almost about time we could potentially get a 3D one. But it'll probably be either 2D or either be 3D. And I'm thinking 2D has a higher chance, but I would love to see a 3D one as well. Next up, I got Fire Emblem Engage DLC. Now, I'm still kind of skeptical about this game because I know the game comes out literally next month, so it's not that far away. We only got like what one main trailer, and then Twitter, at least their Fire Emblem account in Japan, has been doing heavy updates on that. I've been keeping up with it and seeing all this stuff though. I'm just not a big fan of Valyr's, character design, the two color hair, red, blue eyes, all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big fan of that, but every other character I've been looking at, I've been able to vibe with them for the most part though. So I don't know, character art kind of got me a little lower, but in terms of the gameplay and in terms of the story, I'm thinking, it's kind of a return to Awakening kind of style. So I still have hopes for it. Still got the limited edition pre-ordered and whatnot though. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some DLC with this game as well. Cause I mean, literally, if you look in the past of the Fire Emblem games, like you look at Awakening, you look at Fates, you look at Echoes, and you look at Three Houses, all of them had DLC. I kind of like how they simplified the DLC a lot within Three Houses. You just bought one thing and it was just kind of all up in there. So I'm thinking they're gonna do something like that. I don't know if it's going to release in 2023, but we'll probably get an announcement in 2023, even if the update doesn't come until 2024 itself, though. So that's just some things I'm kind of expecting from Fire Emblem right there. Next on the list, I have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, the big number one hope is please don't let this game be delayed. It's literally supposed to come out this spring. I mean, they got the date slated out and stuff like that for May. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Nothing surprising. We'll just stick with the date. Let's just go with it. But I'm just hoping that this game is really good. And the fact that it's, when you look at the first game with Breath of the Wild, we'll be able to look at that game and then look at this game and we can clearly tell how different they are, and hopefully you don't get that kind of samey kind of nature feel between the two games, because if you think about it, we're still in the area of Hyrule, right? It seems to be the same world that we previously explored within Breath of the Wild, and we're going into the same world within Tears of the Kingdom though. So if we had that same area of the map and it's open world and whatnot though, you would think most of the locations will seem the same though. But the way how you got that traversal system between like the ground right here and then the sky up here, I'm hoping there's enough changes within that. Maybe they do some stuff underground too. I mean, if you look back at that first trailer, it seems like quite a bit of stuff is literally underground when they're when Link and Zelda are exploring underneath there, when they seem to run into either Ganon or Ganondorf, one of the two or something like that though, with the freaky hand and whatnot though. But yeah, I'm just hoping that there's enough changes between the two where we don't kind of been like, oh, okay, we've been there, done that. This kind of felt like the same game. I mean, literally, the turnaround time between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask was only like a couple years when in the N64 era, though. But those games felt drastically different. So I just kind of want that same kind of divide and parallel where we can both look at both of these games and acknowledge that they're really cool, and both of them do two different things that make them look distinctly different, though. But that's my hope with Tears of the Kingdom right there. Next up is Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is a game that, at least for Sony, that's one of the few games I have on my list that isn't necessarily Nintendo, though, and I do have a few other Sony games I'm looking forward to, like Hogwarts Legacy, Street Fighter 6, even Final Fantasy 7 Remake, basically Part 2. But Spider-Man 2 is the one I'm like, please, 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 I want this to be really good, and I want the interactions between our Peter Parker Spider-Man and our Miles Morales Spider-Man to be extremely good, because I love the extra depth that they put within Miles Morales, within that one game that came right after Spider-Man. I just love the extra toolkits that he has and his uniqueness with his powers, where it's the invisibility cloaking or, you know, the shocking ability that he has when he shoots out his webs and whatnot, though. I just hope that there's enough of a difference between the two, and it allows you to kind of switch back and forth on the fly. It would be cool to switch back and forth on the fly, but I'm thinking my gut is saying that you probably have design missions where you're using one and then design missions where you're using the other, but it would be really cool to be able to move back and forth between the two. And I know, you know, Venom is going to be like one of the major villains in that, so I think that would be really sick as well to be able to fight him again, though. But I'm just hoping maybe there's also some kind of other big exciting new twist up in there. Like, we know we're going to be able to play as both those characters, though, but maybe something else extra that we hadn't quite thought of yet that we'll be able to play as or be able to interact as. Not just talking about MJ, whatever, doing the side stuff on the side, not just that, but something else that could be substantial or something meaty like that. At least that's my big hope. And then last but not least, I want Game Boy Game Boy Color, as well as, you know, Game Boy Advance games to come out to the Nintendo Switch Online service. That's another one I just really want to see right there, because I honestly thought it was going to happen late of 2022, but then it seemed like some things, you know, I guess for better or worse, that they got enough N64 games that last a whole nother year, which I did make a video on that, saying how if they were going to go a whole nother year with adding more games, there's enough games out there to where they can go a whole nother year. But I'm thinking after they get to, was it the fall time, whenever most people renew their Switch Online services for the month of September or October-ish, I'm thinking by that point, most of your first party games are going to probably be done. You're going to go through all of them. Like, they're rolling through all the Mario Party games fairly quick. We already got 1 and 2, 3 on the way and whatnot, though. So yeah, I'm hoping that at that point, they go ahead and add those services to the online service, because I'm thinking Game Boy Color will be one of the ones that will be in the base online subscription thing, so that way you can kind of get some more meat and potatoes to those people, because literally all they get is NES and SNES games. And when was the last time we got an update on that? I think it was literally Earthbound, if I'm not mistaken. And hopefully they get that, and then the expansion pack owners will get the Game Boy Advance games and whatnot. There's some good Game Boy Color games out there, but when most people think of Game Boy-ish kind of thing, if you're excluding Pokemon and all that stuff, people immediately start thinking and associating with Game Boy Advance. So I'm thinking, you know, that'll be a kind of a good hefty balance right there, though. And yeah, that's basically all the things I have on my wish list for 2023, whether it be all those different gaming stuff within, like, you know, hopefully they give us a new Donkey Kong Country game, please. The Mario movie, 2D, 3D Mario, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, you just got to give it to me. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe some little bit of Metroid Prime 4 over there. Spider-Man 2 is going to be major hype right there, though. Fire Emblem Engage, please do not disappoint. I got a lot of stake up in this game, though. And then lastly, hopefully we get some new stuff added to the Nintendo Switch Online base tier, as well as the expansion pass tier, though. But yeah, if you really like this video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell. That way you can stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you have any other predictions that you think may happen or what you hope to happen in the year of 2023. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts as well, though. But that's going to do it for this video, though. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.